casi toda la vida. El huevo ha sido como una tradición.
They found poachers with a turtle. The poachers attacked the group to keep away.
That gang, their business was assault, was crime.
Yikes.
It's about 10 p.m. right now. We're going on patrol on the beaches here with the conservationists. It's kind of a finders keepers game going on here between them and the poachers. Whoever gets the eggs first gets to do with them what they want.
Here in Costa Rica, there's a rivalry on the beach that goes back over 50 years between conservationists patrolling to protect endangered sea turtle eggs and poachers who aim to eat the eggs or sell them on the local black market. Magali Marion of the conservation group Latin American Sea Turtles leads the patrol tonight for leatherbacks, the largest of the species. It's clear we're not alone on the beach. Magali gets an update from an earlier patrol, letting us know there are lots of poachers out tonight.
The patrol that went out at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he saw anything, any activity on the beach. There was a lot of poachers, so far no turtle, and quite a lot of poachers
A lot of poachers walking around.
Yeah.
Poaching is illegal in Costa Rica, but sea turtles have long been part of the culture and cuisine. After about an hour of searching, we find a leatherback sea turtle as it arrives on shore.
So she just came up and she's starting to dig the body pit. We're just gonna make sure that we're claiming the turtle by putting a stick in the track. So whenever a poacher is coming, he knows that there's already somebody with the turtle and he's not even gonna bother, he's just gonna pass and carry on, and that's it.
The conservationists, who are mostly foreign volunteers and researchers, are greatly outnumbered by local poachers. Getting to an unclaimed nest first means everything.
It seems like there's almost a mutual respect here that you and the poachers have for each other on this particular beach.
Yeah, definitely. By not confronting, we're not antagonizing, so we keep the communication, we keep the dialogue open. During daytime, those same people that are stealing egg on the beach say hi. Like, hi, how are you? Good weather today.
You recognize them, you know them.
Yeah. There's not much they can do for a living. I can't really blame them, you know? They need to eat like anyone.
Is that someone walking over there?
Mm-hmm.
Poacher, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
There's actually a poacher walking by right now, so if we were maybe 20 or 30 minutes later than we were, he would probably be getting those eggs.
Magali's team prepares the nest to bring back to their camp, where they will rebury the eggs in a hatchery safely out of reach from poachers. Even with this effort, only 1 in 1,000 will reach maturity.
She's a big mama.
Is she?
Yeah.
A nest like this can go for $100 on the black market, a significant prize in rural areas like Pacuare. Without law authorities around to enforce the ban on poaching, both groups rely on the unspoken agreement of the beach, finders keepers, to maintain the peace.
Yeah, victory.
This relationship is the status quo on most beaches in Costa Rica, which is why the country was shocked when a local conservationist was murdered in 2013, just miles down the coast from Pacuare.
La falta de vigilancia de parte de la fuerza pública y el guardacostas de Limón convirtió en tierra fértil para la muerte la playa de Moín, en donde 5 hombres sorprendieron a 4 mujeres y al conservacionista Jairo Mora Sandoval, a quien asesinaron para dejar abandonado su cuerpo al lado del Suzuki Jimmy que conducía.
The murder was a surprise for a country known as a safe, eco-friendly tourist destination. Volunteerism dropped sharply the year after the murder, a blow to both the reputation of Costa Rica and conservation efforts, which rely heavily on foreign volunteers. The incident also cast doubt on the decades-long peaceful relationship between conservationists and poachers. We went to meet with Carlos, a former poacher who is now employed by the volunteer camp in Pacuare, to discuss why locals harvest eggs and what has made the beaches more dangerous in certain areas.
Is turtle poaching, turtle egg poaching, is it something that's been happening in this community for many years, for many generations? Does it go back a long time?
Sí, de casi toda la vida. El huevo ha sido como una tradición y vine aquí como un huevero a huevear. Tomaba los huevos por comprar comida, por necesidad, pero yo a mi consciente sabía que era un daño a las tortugas. Yo sí lo entiendo. Alguien tomó la iniciativa de hacer un proyecto acá en Pacuare. Me tomaron parecer a mí para ayudar, a colaborar y yo acepté. Muy difícil porque la mayor parte de personas no tienen trabajo y cogen los huevos por vender, otros por cambiarlos por drogas, pero hacen mucho daño a las tortugas.
Sea turtles aren't the only ones lured to Costa Rica's untouched beaches. In recent years, the same pristine coastlines and untouched national parks, enjoyed by wildlife and tourists alike, have also been the sites of major drug busts and violent crime.
When did the drugs start playing such a big role in this? When did that sort of happen? Was that recently?
Aproximadamente como unos 15 años. Pacuar no es tan peligroso. El problema es que la gente que viene consume drogas, algunos, y ellos están muy mal de la cabeza, pero no es tan peligroso como Moín. Es una playa, Moín es muy peligrosa porque hay acceso a una carretera hacia Limón y de Limón vienen muchas gentes muy peligrosas.
A few hours along the coast from Pacuare is Moyne Beach, a turtle nesting hotspot and the site of Jairo's murder. It has a reputation as one of the most dangerous places in the country. We traveled to the port city of Limon, right near Moyne Beach, to follow the illegal turtle trade to the streets. We're headed to the market right now in Limon. We're gonna see how easy it is to buy turtle eggs out there. It's actually illegal to sell turtle eggs in Costa Rica, but the government doesn't really enforce it. And we're gonna go see how lax that enforcement is. Didier Chacon is the director of the Latin American Sea Turtle Conservation Group and has dedicated over 25 years to the protection and study of sea turtles in Costa Rica. He was also running the conservation group where Jairo volunteered prior to his murder. Didier takes us around Limon, where illegal turtle products are for sale out in the open.
This is rings and bracelets.
So that's totally illegal turtle shells?
Totally illegal.
Okay. We soon head to a bar where turtle eggs are usually sold. In the corner of the bar, a man with a cooler casually sells sea turtle eggs to anyone willing to pay. I know. You're okay with me tasting? I'm not ruining the conservation efforts?
It's a part of the research.
Okay.
You need to open with
Open it
the
with teeth?
No. Open.
Yeah.
Suck. It's a little spicy, and you need salt.
Yeah.
Open.
All right. Sea turtle eggs are considered to be an aphrodisiac, which just adds to their demand and popularity. Spicy. So yeah, that's how easy it is. We just bought 4 endangered sea turtle eggs in this bar within 5 minutes of sitting down.
How you feel?
Viral. In some parts of the country, limited legal harvests are sanctioned by the government in an effort to control the black market. But generations of overharvesting and illegal trade have led to a serious decline in all sea turtle populations globally. Nearly all are endangered. We were able to buy turtle products quite easily. They were open for sale.
Yes.
I mean, is that black market a huge part of the reason why this is still going on? And
Yeah,
the government, I mean, that's illegal, no?
Yeah, it's illegal. You have the source and you have the market, and many things in between. If you are strategic, you make your actions against poachers, against hunters, and also in the market. And in between, you educate, you inform the society, not just patrolling every night.
It's hard to change a cultural aspect.
Yes, and it's deeply rooted in our culture also, yes.
But for the foreseeable future, the turtle egg black market isn't going away, which means monitoring the beach is the only way to combat the illegal trade. Because of the decline of volunteerism, Didier is one of the few people who still patrols Moyne Beach.
Hola, señor.
Now, Didier has to rely on private contractors as well as the police for the safety of his small conservation crews. The police, he says, need to be called continuously for support, as poachers are not their first priority in an area known for crime and drugs. We sought out the police commissioner of Limon to ask him about his department's role in curbing the rampant turtle egg poaching.
There's lots of issues here on this beach with poachers, with other things, and we know that sometimes the police aren't really here that much. I mean, are there regular patrols? Are there active patrols really protecting the turtles?
Desde hace 45 días mantenemos un monitoreo regular acá en la zona todas las noches. Hemos logrado detener a más de 4 personas acá en esta zona que son presentados a las fiscalías correspondientes.
We've heard, people describe like there's a battle here between conservationists and poachers. Do you see it that way, or is it calmer, is it more aggressive?
Bueno, en Costa Rica todavía la permanencia de pandillas no ha sido detectada. Tenemos unas buenas políticas de prevención social que han mitigado este flagelo y ha permitido que Costa Rica no se han logrado desarrollar. Tenemos grupos aislados que son controlados con las leyes correspondientes acá en Costa Rica.
A lot of people are still scared to come on this beach. What do you tell those people?
Parte de la Fuerza Pública de Costa Rica, invitarlos para que vengan a disfrutar de las maravillas que tiene el medio ambiente costarricense, en un lugar en coordinación de seguridad y paz, para que puedan disfrutar todas nuestras bellezas que están expuestas al mundo para disfrutar.
While the police commissioner was essentially telling us that everything was safe on Moyne Beach, Didier got a disturbing message from one of his team members.
What just happened?
When we were in the interview, our group comes out looking for turtles, and they found poachers with a turtle. The poachers attacked the group to keep away. They sent me a message, and I asked to the commissioner send a patrol to here. They find the group, and now poachers scared, but they are looking in the poachers in the bush.
So as the police commissioner was telling us that the beach is safe, the guys that were trying to protect the turtles, the conservationists, were attacked.
It's a perception,
While the attackers were still on the loose, a security patrol car ahead of us had driven into a trap, presumably set by poachers.
So the poachers have made a trap for this car. It's stuck. And we're trying to figure out how to get it out right now. Oh, wow, yeah. Damn. So they dug this, the poachers?
Yeah, they made the hole to, they know that we used to this trail to come to the beach.
So they dig a hole and they cover it with
They dig the hole. This is not the first, and the other...
They do this all the time?
Other night we had trunks.
They leave the trees, the log trees. Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna get this car out. Yikes.
Attacks like this are common on Moyne Beach. In fact, Didier tells us that the police are there more to protect conservationists than to stop poaching. The night Jairo was killed began with a trap just like this. Since 2002, over 1,000 conservationists and activists have been killed while protecting environmental and land rights. Central and South America have emerged as the most dangerous regions in the world for conservationists. But in a more disturbing pattern, the perpetrators of these crimes have gone largely unpunished. As of last year, only 6 killings of environmentalists ended up in convictions. The murder of Jairo Mora Sandoval, a local conservationist in Costa Rica, is not one of those 6. In 2013, Jairo was killed on Moyne Beach, a popular nesting site for leatherback turtles on the Caribbean coast.
Hay
Jairo Mora fue hallado sin vida el 30 de mayo del 2013 en una playa de Moín, en Limón. Él fue arrastrado varios metros en la playa y esto habría ocasionado que se asfixiara con la arena.
Jairo was killed while on patrol for sea turtle eggs with 4 female volunteers. 3 were students from the United States. After rescuing a nest of turtle eggs, their car was sabotaged and the conservationists were captured by a gang of young men. The girls were assaulted and tied up in a wooden hut in the jungle, while Jairo was taken separately. The volunteers managed to escape the hut, but Jairo's body was found the next morning, having been brutally murdered and dragged behind a car. His violent murder shocked the nation. It sparked protests locally and abroad, and was a wake-up call for many who viewed Costa Rica as an eco-friendly tourist destination in Central America, amongst neighboring countries with sky-high murder rates and notorious gang and drug problems. Didier worked closely with Jairo and was also his mentor.
Who was Jairo and what was your relationship with him?
He was trained with our group and he was helping to turn Moín from a poached beach to a good beach for conservation. Moín is an exception, it's not the rule in the country. And we are working to change that exception to be like another beaches in the country, safe for volunteers and tourism.
How has the relationship between poachers and conservationists changed in the last few years?
When you work in a community, you know everyone. But now we have poachers from places away because it's a business.
Historically a cultural pastime, the harvesting and sale of endangered turtle products has grown into organized criminal operations in some areas.
It's not a problem when you are a local family in Isolate Beach and you take some eggs daily, right? The thing is when you link the activity with the markets because people collect too much because that means market will return an income in cash. One of the nests in the black market now, one nest is $100. It's $100 in one night. And for some people, this is all income in 1 month. We are talking about money.
Didier brings us back to Moín Beach, where Jairo was in direct competition with poachers and ultimately killed.
Jairo's body was found right over here.
Well, in a place like here because the ocean and 2 years ago was over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just at this location?
In this location, yes.
So you can see right here in Moín, this is a leatherback turtle that came up, laid its nest right over here and then went back down. But you can see right here this ATV track. This was poached as almost all nests on this beach are. And you know, the poachers are using ATVs, they're running around very quickly. And this one clearly was taken.
All of this number were painted by Jairo, by hand.
He painted all these numbers?
Every 100 meters.
So we could keep track?
It's to cross the number of nests and location.
So he was just supremely dedicated, like this was his life, was saving these sea turtles.
Exactly.
Lindsay Fenn is a journalist with the Tico Times, who extensively covered Jairo's death and the subsequent murder trial.
What was the impression you got of Jairo and the work that he was doing?
It's complicated because a lot of people have painted different pictures of Jairo. In the trial, the prosecution made him out to be this hero crusading for protecting the turtles of Moín. But at the same time, he was also an outsider in that regard. He's from the Caribbean, but that's how he was viewed by a lot of these poachers, as sort of this outsider coming in and telling them how they had to live their lives.
He was a bit aggressive, though, in his methods.
Well, he was proactive.
Yeah.
If I can say.
Proactive, yeah.
Yes, proactive, yes.
Those who've spent time on Moín Beach, they really think that that was a big factor in why he ended up being murdered.
Whether or not Jairo's death was related to his work with turtle conservation is still debated.
Many media makes a relationship between the crime was an act against turtle people, and that is not true.
You don't think Jairo's death, his murder, had to do with turtle poaching?
I don't think. That gang, their business was assault, was crime.
You cannot deny that his work with the turtles had something to do with it, because that's the reason he was out on the beach, and all of the investigation documents indicate that these men were poachers and that they were in competition with Jairo for eggs.
The owner of the car that dragged Jairo to death was Felipe Aras, a Nicaraguan immigrant who allegedly helped escalate turtle egg poaching from a small side business to a criminal enterprise. His prior arrests include kidnapping and drug trafficking. Testimony from the kidnapped women who were with Jairo the night of his murder say they overheard the gang mention a drug boat and say they had to get to the beach.
Some of these night walkers, looking for eggs for trade, are people in drugs.
There's so much crime on Moine. It's incredibly dangerous.
Costa Rica has become a major transshipment point for drug trafficking, which brings with it an array of gangs and guns. The violence that pervades the drug trade has recently spilled onto the shores of Costa Rica. Drug addicts have also made Moine their stomping grounds, making the beach one of the most dangerous places in the country.
Okay, be careful.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Do we know who these people are?
Yeah. Well, do you remember I said the ATVs poach eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these right here, these people coming up?
Possible, yeah. Sometimes you see people, they comes to practice with guns, Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got to be careful when you're on this beach when people roll up.
Mm-hmm.
So this right here.
This was the place that the gang take the girls and put it inside.
There were 4 girls with Jairo when he was caught?
Yes.
And they weren't Costa Ricans, right? They are
volunteers from the rescue center.
Mm-hmm. And they basically tied them up and locked them in over here?
They take and put it there, and we think they have plans to hurt them, but the plans change. And the next week after the case, the police burned the house by mistake.
They burned the house?
By mistake.
With all the evidence of what was happening?
By mistake.
By mistake?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's what they say?
Yes.
Okay. It's a pretty big mistake.
Yeah.
The trial was marred by significant missteps, with some alleging corruption played a role.
Were there a lot of mistakes made in the initial investigation?
A lot of people viewed it as a pretty big miscarriage of justice.
El manejo de las evidencias en esta causa, lamentable, irresponsable.
When that kind of stuff happens, especially in such a high-profile case, the first thing you do as a reporter is think, okay, who's behind this? But really, I mean, we all looked into it. If there was any kind of corruption in the case, and it doesn't seem like it seems like it was honestly just incompetence.
Hubo errores que son garrafales, que dicen que uno no podría esperar que un funcionario del OIJ se le olvide firmar un cuadrito que es una cadena de custodia donde yo le entrego el documento a...
Do you think corruption played a role? Do you think drug trafficking played a role?
Well, I don't want to believe that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the black hand is inside of our court. But I can't believe the kind of mistakes that they do.
The police recovered the phones of the alleged suspects, which had text messages linking them to the murder. But due to a filing error, this evidence was not permitted for use in the trial.
El asesinato de Jairo Mora sigue impune pese a que ya se realizó un juicio. Los sospechosos podrían ser incriminados. Sin embargo, fueron absueltos porque la fiscalía perdió la prueba de unas conversaciones telefónicas grabadas.
They just lost a disc of a lot of the recordings. It was pretty unbelievable to everyone in the courtroom that they could just misplace like a huge chunk of evidence like that.
Los costarricenses y muchos en el mundo entero esperaban una condena por este crimen atroz.
It was just a trial that was ruled by incompetence, that it was just mistake after mistake, and it just never stopped until the very end.
En Costa Rica, la muerte de un defensor de tortugas se llena de misterio, mientras que los principales sospechosos quedan impunes por errores que comete la fiscalía en el proceso de acusación.
The suspects of Jairo's murder were acquitted of all charges. 2 years after his death, the crime remains unsolved. As of June 2015, the court decision is currently being appealed. Police in the area continue to patrol Moyne Beach to the best of their ability. But as long as the Caribbean coast continues to be a magnet for drug-related crime, their focus is on a different sort of illegal trade. Costa Rica stands out as one of the most environmentally responsible countries in the world, and a prime destination for conservationists and eco-tourists. The country is full of biodiversity hotspots, like dense rainforests and untouched coastlines. And the government wants to keep it that way. Over 25% of the country is made up of national parks and protected zones, with several more proposed. But it is this unique geography that also makes the country so vulnerable for illicit activities. There's just too much uninhabited land to cover. We travel to the Pacific coast, where park rangers like Roberto Molina patrol daily for illegal activity. We're with Roberto Molina, he's a park ranger, and we're in a protected area called Guacalillo. We're gonna head out on a boat to see the area around here and talk to him about what rangers are going through right now in Costa Rica. Wildlife poaching, illegal logging, and drug trafficking are prevalent in national parks around the country. Park rangers are understaffed and underarmed to control the influx of crime.
Estas son las armas que tenemos los guardaparques, ¿verdad? Estas armas son muy viejas. Ahora los cazadores andan con armas AK-47, 9 milímetros. Los cazadores furtivos nos tiran a nosotros y nosotros con esto.
It's like old cowboy weapons.
With only a few hundred park rangers in the entire country, every ranger is tasked with protecting an unimaginable 4,000 hectares of land.
Costa Rica has a strong reputation for protecting its wildlife, protecting its green areas. Do you think like it's upholding that reputation?
Tenemos muchas leyes ambientales, pero no se aplican como tiene que ser por voluntad política. Nosotros, los parques nacionales, las áreas silvestres protegidas en Costa Rica es la gallina de los huevos de oro. Es lo que más le genera divisas a Costa Rica, lo que son las áreas silvestres protegidas. Y el gobierno no le interesa meter más guardaparques, mejorar las condiciones de infraestructura en los parques nacionales, senderos. Hay cacería furtiva, indiscriminada, y no hemos podido. El gobierno aporta muy poco.
Leatherback sea turtle populations along the Pacific coast have declined by over 90% in the past decade from illegal poaching. But this is only one aspect of the crime that occurs in these isolated areas.
Is there a lot of other crime happening now in the parks in Costa Rica?
Tenemos un problema con la droga, tráfico de drogas, y eso es imposible para el guardaparque. 2 guardaparques para ir a combatir narcotraficantes es imposible, es un peligro. Los narcotraficantes andan armas pesadas, andan armas sofisticadas. Nosotros no podemos combatir efectivamente el narcotráfico. Ayer, por ejemplo, aquí en Guacalillo salió 1 kilo de cocaína en la playa. Ayer aquí en Costa Rica, aquí en Guacalillo. Eso está afectando el turismo en Costa Rica a futuro.
La policía guardacostas intervino la primera embarcación con 23 paquetes de cocaína, representan media tonelada de esa droga.
For a country often seen as an oasis of safety surrounded by narco states, Costa Rica is seeing a serious uptick in drug trafficking. An unprecedented 26 metric tons of cocaine were seized in 2014, almost 4 times what was intercepted in 2011. Costa Rica is smack in the middle of the main northward route for cocaine from Latin America headed to the United States.
Muchos grupos de narcotraficantes están tratando de tomar el control en Costa Rica.
On the condition we concealed his identity, we spoke with a drug dealer we agreed to call Felix to understand how the drug trade has spilled into Costa Rica.
What's the situation like right now in Costa Rica with drugs coming in and out of the country?
Todo el mundo sabe que es un puente hacia los países del norte, a los expendedores de Colombia y de Panamá, trasladar droga a otros países del norte, México, Estados Unidos.
Is that having an effect on the rest of society here? Is it becoming a much more violent place?
100%, porque ya está pasando pues, una situación que no es muy común en Costa Rica, que sucede mucho en países como México, que es el control o el dominio de la droga.
You know, Costa Rica has the reputation of being a very safe place, and I think it is still a safe place in most places. But, I mean, do you see it changing? Do you see the reputation changing?
Hay ciertos puntos específicos del país en los que esta situación se está, pues, suscitando. Sin embargo, yo siento que todavía el turismo puede venir tranquilamente a visitar el país siempre y cuando no anden buscando el peligro en lugares como Moín, siempre y cuando, porque la gente que viene acá a Costa Rica no viene a buscar esos lugares, y los que vienen a buscar esos lugares es porque quieren otra cosa.
Costa Rica has a lot of protected areas, a lot of protected parks that don't have a lot of people there, that are very open. How does that play into the drug trade here?
Los parques nacionales y las zonas protegidas son muy vulnerables a esta situación. Pueden mover fácilmente su droga o lo que quieran hacer por medio de estos lugares.
Foreign cartels are dependent on local Costa Ricans to help them manage their trafficking routes, causing a spike in crime where poverty, drugs, and guns collide. Law enforcement in Costa Rica has been coordinating with the United States and surrounding countries to keep Costa Rica from spiraling into a narco state. It's estimated almost 90% of the cocaine that arrives in the US is trafficked through Central America.
The United States has committed nearly $500 million to help Costa Rica and its neighbors in this fight. We're disrupting drug cartels and gangs. We're working to strengthen law enforcement and the judicial system.
With the help of the US Coast Guard, more than 50,000 drug-related arrests were made in 2014 alone. We met with a drug enforcement agent to ask about the increase in drug-related crimes facing Costa Rica. His face and voice have been concealed to protect his work as an undercover agent. Are you seeing a lot more drugs moving through the country?
You know, Costa Rica is like a bridge. They come here and refuel the boats and the airplanes and then send it to Mexico, the US.
Costa Rica's avoided what's happened in Guatemala and El Salvador and Honduras for a very long time. And now it seems like maybe some of the cartels, some of the gangs are looking at this as a place that they can come to now.
It used to be like a country where everybody thinks it's peaceful, everybody thinks, peace here and everybody's safe. So everybody's closing their eyes and don't see what's going on for real. Now, people from Salvador, people from Colombia come here and tell the government, hey, that was my country 25 years ago, so you're going that way. So the people here starting to see.
A side effect of the drug trade is the rise in violence throughout the country. There have been deadly consequences for people who live or work in these same isolated areas. Are you familiar at all with the murder of the conservationist in 2013, Jairo?
People like Jairo, who works for conservation, and they keep on walking on the beaches here, they can see a lot of things. Maybe he was in the wrong place, in the wrong moment, In that moment can be something was happening there, and okay, he's a witness of this, so we need to silence his voice. And that's so sad that people like him, who works for the country, who protects the nature here, are, falling because of those criminals.
During the filming of the story, sea turtle conservationist William Gaitan was murdered in El Salvador. The area he patrolled was on the Pacific coast, a turtle nesting hotspot, and along the very same drug route that passes through Costa Rica. His murder remains unsolved.